Um, all right, cool. So my name is Joey. I'm a rising third year dance major at Wayne State. I absolutely love the program. Dance is definitely my biggest passion. We have a great faculty and use of resources at the university for dance. The focus here is we do a lot of African dance, specifically East Congo African, and ballet, and then modern / contemporary. So we sort of dabble in a lot of different styles, as well as there's a ton of opportunity for different electives like jazz dance, tap dance, heels, musical theater, improvisation, so many different things, which is really exciting about the program. Yeah, I grew up dancing. I started when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I love performing and being able to tell a story on stage. That's sort of my favorite part of dance, is that sort of process to get to that finished performance. The way you can convey so much from facial expressions to movement is really exciting to me. So, yeah, do you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about your major?
Yeah, so my name is Ryan, and I actually finished up my degree last semester with digital arts and a minor in design. But one of my instructors kind of presented this opportunity to me about enrolling in this class to see if I wanted to help out, because I know they were looking for all sorts of creatives. So I reached out to Mary, and I just, I didn't want to like take up a seat in the class that for anyone that, hadn't graduated yet, but they said, absolutely, that they'd love to have me. So I'm here. I mean, I have a lot of free time right now, as does anyone. But yeah, the digital art program, it's I originally like signed up because I'm really interested in like animation. And my whole life I've been really into, I guess, visual arts, but Wayne State doesn't really have like an animation program. When I first enrolled, it was actually called like interdisciplinary electronic arts, which is just like such a mouthful. So I think they just changed it to digital arts, and it's an interesting program. I mean, it kind of walks like this fine line between like graphic design and also like fine arts. So, one medium is really, I guess you could say, like practical for like advertising and marketing, whereas the fine arts aspect about it really gives you this huge like creative freedom to really express a lot of different things. But it's, I don't know, you have like 1 foot and 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It's a little it's definitely, I don't know, it's was an interesting experience in the program. I'm really happy with it. But one of the reasons like I wanted to join this class was because I felt that I wanted to, I guess, do more storytelling and do more I guess team oriented things. So so I'm excited to be doing this, because with digital arts, I mean, video art can just get really bizarre, and you can tell a story, but I feel like this is kind of a little bit more literal, which I'm happy to do for once. But so yeah, so I don't know. Tell me a little bit about your project. I mean, I know that you're obviously a dance major, but this kind of seemed to veer away from your discipline.
It did, yeah. And being in this course has definitely opened my eyes to how interconnected everyone is. And like, I didn't even realize that, that Wayne had like a digital art major and that kind of thing. So it's so cool to be able to come together, all of us, and be able to experience all of our different areas of expertise and bring them together, because they really do all come together to make some really cool stuff. My project for this week, I was struggling to figure out like what I wanted to do, because our theme was community, and we can't be dancing with people right now, and that was really
Right.
hard because I was like, oh well, it would be really cool to do like a big dance with the community, but I didn't really want to do it over Zoom. That felt a little bit too not personal, and like I was debating, okay, well maybe I could stitch different videos together if I have people take videos, but I sort of landed on this idea that I kept being stuck, like really wanting to connect with people and really wanting to go back into the studio. And I was thinking, well, I feel like most people are probably feeling that way about either their work, their profession, their major. So I decided to open it up and sort of get rid of the dancing aspect of it and just figure out like what are people most excited about to be going back to once, we can go back to things. And it was fun. I got to reach out to a lot of different people. I posted a call out on social media, like, hey, I'm working on this project. If you want more info, let me know. And so many people that I never really connect with or never have had the opportunity to really get to know reached out and said they'd like to participate, which was really heartwarming for me to see. And so I sort of collected all these videos from different people, basically just saying their name and what they were most excited to do after quarantine or the pandemic or that type of thing. And I got the videos all together, and then I stitched them into the finished product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't super difficult, but one thing I really loved about it was that everyone's answers were rooted in people and like experiencing people again rather than experiences. So, people weren't saying, oh, I want to go to Cedar Point. They were saying, I'd want to go spend time with my friends, or I want to go dance with my dance family again. And like, that was really, really cool to see. But yeah, that's pretty much where the concept and the idea of my piece came from. But I know everyone took it in such different ways. Like your animated video was so cool.
Oh, thanks.
More about that.
Yeah, I'll get into that, but just one thing I wanted to say about yours was, I think it was like a really simple concept, but it was also, I don't know, it was surprisingly, powerful, because I think like for me personally, like being like we're all kind of stuck inside. We've all lost this social aspect of our lives, and for
Mhm.
me, like it was really easy to forget that like I'm not the only one going through it. Like it's really, it's at least for someone like me, like it's easy to forget that everyone else is like stuck in their house and has like the same desires and like longs for like the same experiences and misses those things like just as much as I do. And it was like refreshing to see that in your video, just to see like, I'm not the only one waiting. Like as soon as things let up, like there's the world, like there's just a whole world of people out there to
Mhm.
like uh that's gonna join me, and like and and so it just, I don't know, it got me a lot more excited to end this thing, because it's um this whole time it's been easy to kind of like get depressed and just think like, well, I don't know, they're gonna let us out again, but then what? Like what's gonna happen after that? But
Right.
there's just people out there that are like waiting to, give me a hug. And so it was, yeah, I don't know. I guess thanks for like putting up that that video, because it was it, I don't know what the right word is, but it was I don't know if it's inspiring, but it made me full of like hope, I guess. So
Yeah, and that's the goal. It was like just wanted to give people hope again, and like um show that we all are looking forward to the same things, and we all are in this together. So I'm glad that you got that out of it.
but with my video, like, so when they gave us the theme community, like I think we were all thinking it, like this how we kind of feel like we lost our sense of community being stuck inside. And that was one thing like I wanted to address, but if I'm being honest, like I don't know if this sounds like like I don't know if this sounds bad on my part, but I've almost just been so worn out by like this topic and the discussions. And a couple weeks before I had signed up for this class, one of my instructors actually during the winter semester, when this whole thing started, he asked if I wanted to make another animation, kind of thanking like the medical community and the frontline workers that were when pandemic was like really when COVID was like really at its peak. So I felt a little tired out from the subject.
Yeah.
So I kind of also wanted just to go in maybe a happier direction. I mean, not to say like yours wasn't happy. Like I said, it was very uplifting, but I just kind of wanted to get away from that subject altogether. And it's nice that like they gave us themes, because I have this tendency. That's usually my biggest issue, is like I don't know where to even start or what to talk about. So when they gave us the community themes, even then when we had the theme, I was really unsure what to talk about. But I was just kind of like surfing the web, and I saw like this fun little article that was saying like, hey, like, did you know that a group of lemurs is called a conspiracy, or a group of rhinos is called a crash, or just a bunch of like funny and silly names. And it kind of clicked. And I don't know if me me doing that subject matter was a reach for community. Like I thought sometimes I question myself with that a lot. Like, am I just trying to force in a subject because I think it's a good idea, and then it's like not fitting at all. But I just kind of went with it. And with those animations, like so I did it all in like Adobe Illustrator and Adobe After Effects, which, even though I have my degree in digital art, I can't say I'm really like proficient at those programs, because they're so intense. Like I don't know if you've ever used even like Photoshop or anything, but they're just like not intuitive.
Yeah.
So there's just like there's so much. It's just like this constant learning curve. And so a big challenge for me was just I guess that's the fun thing about animation, is it's all these challenges, and you have to figure out like what's the best way to go about something, even if it's just like a little movement of like the head. Like there's just a dozen ways to do one thing, and it's kind of like this puzzle. So that's one of the things I like about animation, is it's problem solving. But so with each of those like groups of animals that I did, it was each one had its own separate challenge, and like what part of the animal is going to move, or how I'm going to move it. and I ended up having like a really good time with it. I'm like a chronic like procrastinator, and I wish I had started like immediately, and I probably could have gotten twice as long of a video. I felt like it was relatively short. I mean, compared to what other people are putting out, but lesson learned.
Yeah. One thing I loved about yours was that it was just so fun. Like the colors, the text, the everything, the animals and the animation was so fun, and yet I was still like learning things, which is cool. And yeah, it was just like so lighthearted, and I really appreciated that. Like I didn't feel like it was really heavy or anything, which was a nice change of pace.
That's talking about like the community theme. Like I think this was after the theme was presented to us, but that's when you know George Floyd got murdered, and all
Right.
these all these protests are happening, and I'm sitting here, drawing a lemur at you know a, at a conspiracy board, and now I'm seeing the news, and I'm thinking like, hey, like what am I doing? Like I have this
Yeah.
platform now where I can be talking about like this huge uh you know social injustice.
Mhm.
Wow, I should be talking about community, and instead I'm like talking about like, or I'm drawing a bear with a magnifying glass. And so I just I on one hand, like I appreciate you saying that. I'm glad I could like it's a heavy world right now,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I could like give that lightheartedness. But and at the end of the video, I also tried to kind of
Mhm.
make some kind of message, asking what you could do for your community. I didn't
Right.
I didn't want it to be like too heavy-handed where you have this little cutesy video, and then all of a sudden, it's a very serious political message. But yeah.
But that is so important, and I felt the same way. Like putting together this video, I was like, COVID has been so talked about. Like it doesn't really need more. But um, but yeah, like you said, we had already submitted our videos and stuff, so it was just sort of like, all right, I've gotta make this happen, and I think it turned out good. But there are more pressing things to be talking about than that for sure, and things that need a bigger voice. I agree.
So moving forward, like what do you see yourself still kind of straying away from like dancing? Do you think that like anything in the medium is lost when it's on video as opposed to like in person? Is that kind of a reason like you might not see yourself doing much dance work for this class?
Yeah, I definitely feel like the performing arts in general pose a very difficult um, challenge to navigate in the electronic format. It, it'll never be the same. I mean, no matter what you're doing, if it's like performing music, dance, theater, whatever it might be, it's just not the same. And it does make it hard to like be motivated to make that happen because there's such different presenting it in person is so different than presenting it online. But I do think there's a validity in it, and I think it still can evoke something. I just think it might be a little bit different than if it was done in person. As far as the course goes, like I haven't decided. I'm toying with a few ideas for the new concept for my next video, but I honestly don't know if I'll be diving really deep into dance. I do think I want to do a little bit of movement, but I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like. But that's a really great question.
Yeah, because I don't know, I've just been like the graphics field, not only just for this program, but my whole life. And I've did like a little bit of theater in high school and at community college, but it's just kind of like an unfamiliar world to me. And that's another like reason that I was really excited to join this, just to like to see what, see other forms of creative expression that I'm not really used to. So I'm really looking forward to like seeing your talents, really.
Yeah, and I'm also really excited that you're here because there's so much more opportunity for collaboration, and having to do this digital format brings in opportunity for digital design, and it brings an opportunity for us to be using the musicians in our videos, and vice versa, and through, and it keeps folding back onto itself, which is one of the really neat things about this course. It's designed in a way that gives everybody a chance to really work together.
Yeah, now that I kind of got like that solo project out of the way, like I just now that I just like see what other people have to offer, the gears are definitely turning, and I'm looking forward to doing some more like collaborative work rather than just like sitting by myself in my office doing drawing. Like I want to, I don't know, yeah, just work with dancers and musicians. It's daunting, but I mean it's really exciting. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, this was a great talk.
Yeah, I really
wasn't really sure how it was gonna go, but I mean I think time's gone by pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, for
Actually,
sure.
there's like a lot more I could say, but we won't make it too long. So, but yeah, we'll be in touch throughout the course. So,
of course, yeah, and great job with your project, and I look forward to seeing what you do next and maybe collaborate or something.
Awesome. All right, have a good one.
Take care.